Oh, here's the sound. I'm sorry, y'all. I was muted the whole time. What I was saying is, welcome to TD Fans Talk, ladies and gentlemen, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We should be good now. You should be able to hear me now. All right. I've been gone for a few days. All right. I've been gone for a few days. My daughter's sweet 16. We were celebrating over the weekend. So we took some time off, got our stuff together, enjoyed, had a good party. And a lot of people said, "Hey, TD, I didn't. You got a 16-year-old? I didn't know that you were. I thought you were in your 20s." For the record, I am 36 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I am 36 years old. I guess that's a compliment to be like, "Oh, I thought you were 27. I thought you were 29." That's all good, yeah. But I'm getting older. I'm 36. Um, but it is what it is, man. We had a great time. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button. We're about to get started. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins post June 1st salary cap implications. Melvin Ingram may sign tomorrow. And we're going to talk about why I say that and all the implications that deal with the salary cap situation. All right. Now, today is June 1st. We've officially hit the June 1st mark. All right. Now, am I pausing? Hold on. Let me make sure my connection's strong. Y'all give me a second. All right. Y'all bear with me one moment. It's been a little bit, so I got to make sure I got a strong connection and everything. I don't want no issues. All right. Let me see here. All right. We should be good. All right. Give it some time to rev up. I guess the system's a little you ain't been live for a while. All right. So here we go. It is June 1st. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what June 1st is, the June 1st deadline with pre-cuts or post-cuts, this is how it basically works. This is where all your players who are on the bubble for an organization, the team has to make a decision post June 1st. And I'm going to explain this to you all, okay? So these are your players who you may not even want anymore. The value versus the contract may not make sense. But before June 1st, if you cut them, you had to eat the entire dead cap next year. But now, post June 1st, if you cut the player, then you're able to spread the dead cap out over the next 2 years, okay? So that's the benefit where you're not getting hit with dead cap this year as much. You're able to break it in half or spread it out however you like over the next 2 years. Okay. So that's kind of how that works. Now, do we have people on our roster that could be June 1st casualties? Yes, we do. Yes, we do, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about a few of those individuals before we dive in. So it's really salary cap implications. A lot of teams can make a lot more cap space now or for the future. But let me go ahead and give you a few facts here, okay? Now, here's the deal. We all know the biggest name is Jakeem Grant, okay? Jakeem Grant will come with some savings, but it's not just Jakeem Grant. It's also Albert Wilson, okay? Those two individuals alone, if we cut both of them, we would relieve ourselves of about $7 million. Okay. So let me say that again. If we were to cut Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson, we'd be relieving ourselves of about $7 million. All right. See, somebody said that I'm freezing. So y'all bear with me one moment. I'm trying to figure out what's that about. Give me a second. Y'all bear with me one moment. Trying to see what's going on my end of why I'm freezing. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. We're gonna figure this out, man. Promise you we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, y'all. All right. If it keeps freezing on the next stream, I should have it fixed, but I'll figure out what's basically going on. But thank y'all for being patient with me. This isn't typical. Been gone for about 4 days, come back, and I'm having a little lag moment. So we'll see what's going on. Hopefully it's better now, but we'll play it by ear. If not, just bear with me, and we should be good going forward. Okay. All right. So anywho, let's keep it moving. Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson, the $7 million, they could save us. Now, why would we want to save $7 million? We can bring in a player this year, or we can push it to next year. That's a part of the benefit as well. Okay. We're able to either use it this year or push it next year. Now, I'm here to tell y'all now, this is why I say that Melvin Ingram may sign tomorrow, because all these things become official after today. So tomorrow you might see a lot of movement in the NFL or moves being made. You could actually legitimately see a guy like Jakeem Grant or Albert Wilson or both of them cut tomorrow and then Melvin Ingram signed. This is a real possibility, unless they want to just hold out and sign Melvin Ingram anyway, and then just wait until camp and then make the moves. I don't know. It just depends on these guys and their trade values and things of that nature. But time will tell. We shall see. All right. One thing that I found that was interesting today, that I learned, this was very interesting. It's the salary cap allocation, excuse me. It is the salary cap allocation. It was really interesting today when I found out that, do you know which team has is number one in the NFL on wide receivers? Yes, the Miami Dolphins. We spend more money than any team in the NFL from a salary cap percentage standpoint than any other team. At 22.58% of our entire salary cap is on the wide receiving core as of right now. Now, I am telling y'all now, y'all can look for this to change. But will it change drastically? I'm not sure about that. And let me talk about why, okay? Even if you were to cut Albert Wilson and Jakeem Grant, you would still be at about fourth in the entire NFL of still spending the most money on the receiving core. Fourth. So it's really not that big. I mean, it's still not going to make that big of a difference. You're still going to be one of the teams paying the highest amount of money on receivers. Even if you were to cut those two guys, saving $7 million. Now, could a guy like Devontae Parker be on the trade block or something of those sorts? Potentially, but I'm telling y'all, we'd still have a pretty significant allocation, but that would make us look a lot better. But I doubt that happening. You know, I think the core right now is Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller. I think that's the core right now for the receiving core, and everyone else, it's, make or break. They have to earn their right. Unless a trade happens, and it'll make things a lot better for some of these guys. But that's where we are at this very moment. Now, wide receiver was not the only area where we are spending a lot of money. Guess where we're number 2 in the entire NFL in money spent. Which position? Guess which position we spend the number 2 amount of money in the entire NFL at 26.49%. I'm curious. Y'all already got it. Walk it like we talk. It said corner. Yes. We're 26.49% of the cap in the DB position. Now, that's interesting too. I don't look for that to change unless they were to move on from Xavier Howard. Now, I couldn't see them moving on from Byron Jones unless they got a sweet trade package, which I don't think is going to happen. And if they were to release a Byron Jones, man, the dead cap is catastrophic. He got his money. So I don't see that happening at all. But one thing that's very eye-opening, if you listen to the shout out to the homie EM Dolphins fan just came in. If you listen to the DB coach, he recently said, man, he's very impressed in the growth that Noah Igbenogany has made. And there's been a lot of talk about Noah, under the radar lately. And now the DB coach came out and said, man, I see this kid turning the corner, making huge strides. He loves where he is right now. Now, we know that could all be coach talk. We've heard it before. We've seen it before. But let's be honest, y'all. If we really want to be honest, Noah Igbenogany was brought in to eventually replace someone. And that someone isn't more likely to be Byron Jones because he inked the 5-year deal with the big money. That someone was more than likely to be Xavier Howard eventually. with the luxury of continuing with it. Don't forget, Noah was a first round pick, so we're getting a little few bucks, not the top bucks like the top first round picks, but he's getting a few bucks and got guaranteed money. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, man. The thing that I love about the Miami Dolphins roster right now is that we're set to compete. And if Tua balls out, man, we can play with the best of them. We can actually make a run for the Super Bowl, and I truly do believe that. That's no homer, okay? I'm not trying to be a homer when I say that, especially with his admission last week. If he got the playbook this year and he balls out, man, we're as good as any team in the NFL. I truly do believe it, okay? Now, furthermore, this team is filled with a lot of talent that some of these guys are on expiring contracts. I mean, I want y'all to really look at it. I want y'all to think about it. Think about some of our biggest names who are coming up on no guaranteed money. Xavier Howard about to be out of the guaranteed money range, and that's why that contract is a situation. Jerome Baker, contract situation. Mike Gesicki, contract situation. Emmanuel Ogbah. I'm going to do a video on him tomorrow. Emmanuel Ogbah, contract situation. We really do have some contract situation guys on this roster. And the reason why I bring that up is we're either going to give them more money, or you also can look at them as a valuable piece in a trade. These guys can, are we going to keep everyone? You know how everyone says, the Dolphins will have $70 million next year. See, they say that, but they're not considering the people who will be unsigned, some of our top players. If we re-up on Emmanuel Ogbah, we don't have $70 million next year. We probably got, with his value, if he continues what he did last year, we go from 70 to about, 56? Emmanuel Ogbah may warrant about $14 million a year. 56? You re-sign Jerome Baker, you're probably down to about 50. 49. You bring Gesicki back, minus 13. That's about 36 million left right there. And who was left that I didn't mention? Xavier Howard, you restructure that deal, you can quickly add another $6 million a year. You can quickly add another $6 million a year. So we be around the 20-something million dollar mark just by bringing the guys that we already have back. And I'm here to tell y'all, we got to be smart as an organization. This is where the rubber meets the road. Shout out to the homie Shake Money becoming the newest member of TDPHINSTALK. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for rocking with us so long. This is where we have to be smart. This is where the Miami Dolphins have to be wise. Out of all four of those guys that I just mentioned, and there's others. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 more players that I didn't even mention that will be Will Fuller. I didn't even say Will Fuller. It's either Will Fuller or another receiver next year. I mean, that's the reality. And if he proves himself this year, that's going to be another, if you get a bargain, another $14 million. I mean, we'd be around probably $15 million in cap space. So in other words, we wouldn't really have any cap space going into next year. But that's why the Dolphins have to be smart. That's why they have to be smart. And they are being smart, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you why they're being smart. Let me break it down for you all. I'm going to paint the picture. You're not going to like it. Dolphin fans don't like it, especially when I talk like this. You're not going to like the picture I'm about to paint. But I want you to see what they're doing, and they're doing it the right way. But we need to come to understand that it's the right way. Let me break it down. Xavier Howard. See, so remember, we're supposed to have about 70 million next year. Xavier Howard, let's say Noah Igbenogany works out and becomes that guy to replace Xavier Howard. You won't be subtracting 6 million from the 70. You'd actually be adding about 14 million to the salary cap because you no longer have them on the roster, which means you'll go to about 84 million plus your replacement is already there, and you probably got some draft capital because you traded them. You see how we can make this a real plus? Let's keep going. Mike Gesicki. I am telling y'all better look out for Hunter Long. If Hunter Long shows that he could be just as good as Mike Gesicki and a better blocker, instead of adding the 12 to 13 million that Gesicki will cost, you get a trade asset. Now you got $100 million to spend next year in free agency or the draft. You're at $100 million now. You go from 70 to 100 just with Xavier Howard and Mike Gesicki. You see how that works? Then you got a guy like Baker. It doesn't hurt. You can re-sign Baker. Because I think this is going to be a breakout year for Baker. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well in the video. And who's left? Emmanuel Ogbah, pass rushers, they're hard to come by. But now you can get another friendly deal, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal, because he has proved it, and it won't break the bank, but it makes sense. Now you can afford to do that. Will Fuller, he might take the top off of those guys. Maybe now you can give him a good deal for multiple years. You see how that works? You have to be willing to part with someone, ladies and gentlemen. You have to. You got to put your team in the best position possible. So imagine us being able to do that next year and still have $70 million in cap space. And still have 70 million, 80 million, maybe even 90 million in cap space. Come on, man. Nobody can touch us. Whatever area on the O-line we feel like is struggling, we could go purchase the best one in free agency if we want. You could go get more cornerback depth. You could go get your premier running back. Not to mention we still got draft picks. Plus the ones that you acquire from Gesicki and Xavier Howard as well. Tua's balling out, man, our riches are too plentiful. If Tua balls out, our riches are too plentiful. If Tua doesn't ball out, we can get the quarterback we want easily. It's so many. They've built this roster to be so flexible that anything goes wrong, we can correct it easily. Shout out to Antonio Gonzalez with the donation, said this depth we have gives us wiggle room, TD. It gives us wiggle room. Matter of fact, we free skating. We don't even need wiggle room. We're good to go. And I'm loving every bit of it. This is what it's about. This is what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. I think we're headed in the right direction. One more. We're last in the NFL in one area in how much we spend. We spend 9.59% of our cap on one area. It's the O-line, ladies and gentlemen. We are number 32 in the NFL. We are number 32 in the NFL on how much money we spend on the O-line. In large part, that has something to do with the rookies, the young players that we have. That's a big part of it. But I am telling y'all, that's a great thing. Why? It's the Patriot way. They've actually flipped this thing around. We went from about to be one of the highest paid O-lines with a Laramie Tunsil deal to the lowest in the NFL. And this is what the Patriots have done. They try to spend as least amount of money on the O-line and put all the weapons and everything they can and develop that young talent. But I will say this. This is a deciding year for the O-line. I am here to tell y'all, you should be excited about the O-line. Here's why. After this year, I feel like no matter how it shakes out and whoever it becomes, but we are going to know 1,000% that we have a surefire 3 players on the O-line that we know are the future. And it may not even be one of the rookies, but after this year, we will know guaranteed that there are 3 starters for the long-term future on this roster right now. And it might even be 4. And the reason why I say that's beautiful, it could still come with struggles, but it's beautiful because the way our books are designed, the way our cap space is designed, and the room that we'll have next year, Trust me when I tell you, any area that shows that it needs improvement next year on the O-line, and it might just be the center position, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to break the bank. It's not going to matter. They will spend any penny they need to spend, and we should be happy about that. I see someone in the comment section said Kenley Hunt Jackson. I think the star is going to be Eichenberg. He is going to show everyone this year that he is going to be good old reliable on this O-line. Rookie, yes. Rookie, not first round pick. Lynn Eichenberg. Mark my words. Watch out for this kid. He is going to be a cornerstone. I know some people have their doubts. Well, he could be, but I just don't think he's this. I just don't think he's that. He's the prototypical guy to come in, lunch pail, do his job every play. He's the prototypical guy that's going to do his job on every play. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. So with that being said, I think there will be some changes in the next month or two. And again, I believe Melvin Ingram's deal could happen tomorrow if we release Jakeem Grant or Albert Wilson, but it still can happen, and they'll be over the cap with the expectation to go under it in training camp. I think they're going to see that's the big part. Are they going to let everybody come to camp over the cap and then make moves? Or are they going to go ahead and make the moves and then go into camp with the right cap? That's where the rubber meets the road. But I don't think I got to check on the rules on that. I don't think the NFL allows you to just sit around over the cap and wait, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. But Melvin Ingram, though, I will tell y'all this. I think that's a move that needs to be made. I really do think that's a move that needs to be made because we have riches in the wide receiver position, but we don't have the lovable depth that we love in the defensive end position. We just don't. Yeah, we got players and we got players to fill in as a backup, but in today's game, we have to prepare for that injury. Ogbah goes down. How do you feel? Yeah, you got another guy, but you got after that. So we have to make sure that we have starters that are vying for time. That's what I love about it. You bring in Melvin Ingram. Now you got Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah, Melvin Ingram. They all fighting over who, not fighting, but y'all get my, but they're going to be mixing up the reps, and that's the best way to go. That's the best way to go. Where they're mixing up those reps and nobody's getting more than, it's not like everybody's a 3-down guy. You can get some relief. And if an injury happens, you're still in a good place. So we'll see how it all goes. Let me ask you guys, would you prefer a Melvin Ingram in the cut, Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson, or do you prefer to keep Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson and don't pursue Melvin Ingram? That's the big question. Let me know in the comment section. I'm curious to see what you all think about that. Let me know right now so I can get a pulse of the Dolphin Nation. Which would you rather? Bring in Melvin Ingram and cut Wilson and Grant, or keep Wilson and Grant and don't worry about Melvin Ingram? Because they've already given Melvin Ingram an offer. We know they want him. That is not a case of whether they want him or not. They've already given him an offer. Now the ball's in his court, and if he agreed to it, they probably said, we'll wait to after June 1st because we need to shed some space, but we'll be able to give you this. So we'll see. Melvin for sure. Bring in Melvin. Keep Wilson and Grant. I'll take Ingram. I'm one of those individuals that's with I prefer Melvin Ingram. I prefer to bring him in. That would be real good for this team. It'll be a really good look. But look out for the next couple of days for some teams releasing players. And here's what I need y'all to understand. Let's not sit here and act like Albert Wilson and Jakeem Grant don't have any value. Those are some talented guys who have value in so many different ways. Jakeem Grant can be a really good number 3 wide receiver, come in and give you small little plays here and there where it looks like a run play and the defense is playing run and he can take the top off or hit you with a crossing route. Albert Wilson can do it all as well. Outside of the deep threat, I don't put Albert Wilson as much of the deep guy. He's the scat guy all through the middle, screens and all of that. These guys have value. Both of them also return kicks. Okay. Now the issue is this is what you got to look out for. Over the next 2 days, there will be tons of guys just like them who have value, but they're not superstars that are released because they're on the bubble. And I know Flores and Greer, they're looking for those guys who don't fit the scheme where they were, but they may fit the scheme with us. And it doesn't have to be wide receiver, y'all. It might be linebacker. It might be O-line. It might be running back. You got some talented guys who can make plays that will be released by their team because they're just not great, but they could really help a team. It doesn't have to be wide receivers, so look out for that. Just like we might be letting 2 guys like that go, and Grant and Wilson, which they'll find jobs. Especially Grant, he'll find a job. But there'll be some other guys at positions that we like to surefire and stuff as well. But let me tell you what's very interesting. I don't know if y'all saw the article today. The Miami Dolphins have 8 running backs under contract, and those 8 running backs total like about $7 million. And the article was right. They were basically saying the Dolphins don't value the running back position like everybody think, and they don't. To have 8 running backs that they're paying $7 million total, they're like 5 guys on this roster that make more than our entire running back core, and there are 8 running backs coming to camp as of right now. They do not value the running back position like that, but that was just like New England. They never did either. It's by committee. We want you to be scared of our pass, and then when we see that you're guarding the pass well, we'll audible at the line of scrimmage in a nice run or halfback draw or something like that. To me, that's what Buffalo's missing. And enough guys by committee to make that a little bit respectable. But I believe they really do like the trajectory of Myles Gaskins. Let me say that as well. I want y'all to put this in the comment section. How many years has Myles Gaskins been in the NFL? I want y'all to really think about that. How many years has Myles Gaskins been in the NFL? Put it in the comment section. Put that in the comment section. This is going to be which year for him? Right now, next year in August, what year is that going to be for Myles Gaskins? Now, the reason why I say that is because we got to start being a little more fair. Myles Gaskins is going into his 3rd year. What he did last year, because don't forget he got hurt. What he did last year was impressive based off of the amount of games he played. And we're talking about a guy that, I mean, was the guy drafted? Was the guy drafted? Yes or no in the comment section. Was the guy drafted? Somebody said Gaskins has bad ball handling skills. Did he put the ball on the ground all the time? Was he a fumbling machine or something like that? So here's my point, y'all. I asked y'all, was the guy drafted? We're talking about a 7th round pick. They liked him enough to invest in him, just like Jared Dokes. Just like Dokes in a later round. And they're getting production. And I actually like it. So if he can continue to grow and get better and better, man, we'll have a really good back. And Jared Dokes, man, that's another kid. You watch out for him. We'll see. You got Brown, you got Ahmed, Laird coming back, but we'll see if he makes the team. I like where we are with our running back core. A whole bunch of young guys who are hungry and want to make a name for themselves. Y'all gonna look out and see somebody hitting a few holes and catching some breaks and making some plays. We already got, and that's another thing. Our running back core, they're playmakers, and that's what you need. They're playmakers. I'm gonna tell y'all now. Gaskins and Brown, I'm telling y'all now, that's gonna be your number one, number two. I could be wrong, but I think Gaskins and Brown is gonna be your number one and number two. And Ahmed might be your number three. And everybody else is going to battle it out. That's my thought. Because they like Gaskins a lot. And Brown's going to have to really come in and ball out heavy to be the starter in the first down, first reps. He's going to have to come into camp and be that guy. But either way, Brown and Gaskins, they're going to be number one and number two. What order that comes in, I don't know. But I think they're going to be 1 and 2. And Ahmed will be number 3, and then whoever battles for the 4th spot. Unless they bring in yet another back, and then you got a whole nother set of competition. I mean, it is what it is. But I like it. I like the place that we are right now. All right. I love where we are right now. I hear the announcers say Ahmed too. Bring in Adrian Peterson. Guys, there's a lot of guys out here who have talent that could be brought in. But again, when you select your guys and you like who you have, it's a wrap. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I think we're fine. I would love to bring in another back, to compete. But I think the guys we have are just fine. I really do. I think they're just fine. Guys that we have are just fine. And I know a lot of people were hurt because we didn't get Najee Harris and he was on the board. And I mean, all three backs we could have had, either one of them. But that told you as well, they never were. I'm telling y'all, whether people around here telling you that they never were going to get none of those three backs. Not unless one of them fell deep into the second round. Because I know Holland was their guy. I know they wanted Holland. I know Holland was the guy at 36. So it is what it is, man. We're desperate down here. Ball Game said having a bell cow makes you dependent on one player. Amen. They are looking to be limited as a result of one player being unavailable, possibly. I agree. That's why the best course of action in today's league is by committee. By committee. By committee, man. But anywho, man, I wanted to go ahead and talk to y'all about the cap situation post June 1st. So hopefully that educated everybody where we are right now at this very moment. Again, look for Melvin Ingram to be signed this week. Hopefully tomorrow. But they've already made the offer. It's kind of his decision at this point. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But a lot of things should be happening this week. The Julio Jones situation will probably work itself out sooner rather than later. They've come off of that first round pick price, and now they're in the second round. A lot of people have Tennessee as the favorites, but we'll see how that goes. So look for things to happen. Aaron Rodgers still out here not showing up to OTAs, even though it's voluntary. He is making a statement. Where will he end up? Will he end up in Green Bay, or will he be Exodus and find another place to go? That's going to be a ongoing situation as well, man. So a lot going on in the league. Things will work itself out. And the reason why it's interesting with the Dolphins, because a lot of these guys are rumored to be in the AFC or even the AFC East. So we'll keep our eyes on those situations. Somebody said, "What's up with Watson?" Nothing. His case is what's up. As soon as that whole situation is resolved, then we'll know what's up. Until then, it's the same old, same old. All right. I know that that story won't die, which it probably shouldn't, but that thing got to be resolved. It's just going to be a repetitive, maybe this, maybe that, but that needs to be resolved. The moment you hear that's resolved, then, you know, business is open. The league's going to go crazy. All right. Everybody's going to come right back out of the woodworks talking and screaming and going crazy. So we'll see. Time will tell. But the Dolphins aren't done. I think they still got something that they're trying to accomplish this offseason. Not sure exactly what it is, but keep your eyes open. Players that can be involved: Xavier Howard, Emmanuel Ogbah, Mike Gesicki, just to name a few, even Jerome Baker. These are all players that you never know what could happen between now and the start of the regular season. So keep your eyes out open for it. I will, and you know I'll be giving y'all the latest every chance that I get. All right, but this is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Let me see. Do I have another one? I got a schedule here on all type of videos I want to do. We're gonna talk about one more. All right, I'm gonna end this stream and I'll go live in about 2 minutes. We're gonna talk about one more and then I'll be done. We're gonna talk about this Travis Kelce ranking Mike Gesicki in the top 5. Let's talk, y'all. See, a matter of fact, it ain't even gonna be 5 minutes. It's gonna be like 1 minute period. So make sure you come to the channel if you don't get the notification. I'll be live in 1 minute. See you soon.